Hey, what's good? What's good? Running a little late on this end, so we'll jump right in it. Appreciate y'all joining in. Hope y'all had a good you know, hope you had a good Valentine's Day, all that good stuff. Give it a few seconds. What's going on, Joyous Bird? How you doing? Ego, what's good? How y'all doing? Y'all had a good, hope your day's going good and everyone, is in good health, good spirits, all that good stuff. Appreciate y'all spending a little time. So we'll, sorry for being late. We'll kind of get this started in a little bit. This is actually, I think this is Spacecast number 9, but we doing all right. Doing all right. Appreciate you asking, Joyce. Just the average Tuesday on this end. So we're gonna kind of get into a couple things. I want to kind of talk about relationships. So we'll start there. Hey, what's going on, Shadow Fresh? So could you talk about your plan to travel to the US or something along those lines? Absolutely. Yeah, we can talk about that. Hey, what's going on, Janice? How you doing? So so I guess we can jump right into that. But before we do that, before we get into the whole travel thing, I did put a video out this morning where we were talking about this, right? And just kind of wanted to kind of recap that, where like I'm always trying to appreciate it, Shadow Fresh. Appreciate it. Appreciate you joining, man. Hopefully it helps on some level. You know, my thing is trying to make this as simple as possible, you know, to where we are mastering the basics. And once you master the basics, then you take off and you can do your own thing. So just kind of playing with that whole concept. So appreciate you spending your time. I mean, time is the most valuable thing that we have here. So appreciate you guys spending time with me, and hopefully, I'm making this valuable for you guys. But one of the things I wanted to kind of recap, we did a video earlier where we were kind of using this as an example, right? Saying that this is basically the 3D matrix, if you will. And this is just, a colander or strainer or whatever, right? But the idea in the video is, if you can imagine each one of these circles kind of being the womb that we enter this matrix from, right? So that was the whole idea behind this example. And just kind of trying to illustrate what we're talking about in a simple way. And what we did was we were talking about us all being part of the ocean of consciousness, right? And you can call that God, source, love, whatever you want to call it, right? Names really don't matter at this point. But the whole idea of the parable was to show that if you have some water, and in the little video, it was black water, just kind of using that as space, if you will. And we took this and then we pushed it down into their water. And then what happens is the water comes in through each of these wombs, if you will, each of these, holes, if you will, into this matrix. And then we're interacting, the same water coming through these different holes are interacting with each other, right? And that's what we're doing in this reality. So just kind of using that as a rough example of kind of what's going on here, right? So that's how we can all have separate experiences. You can be born here, I can be born here, somebody else is born here, Shadow, you got here, Janice here, Ego here, Joy is here, all coming in, having our own different experiences of coming into this reality, but we're all the same thing that are coming into this reality through our different wounds, and we're interacting with each other. And so it's all about relationship, right? When we talk about relationships, relationship with ourselves, relationship with other aspects of ourselves, just like we're in a relationship with nature. So it's all about relationships, and we're really in relationship with the same thing, right? One consciousness, experiencing itself from different aspects. Just like one, body of water, if I squeeze this colander through it, it'll come through all of these different holes, right? So we're the same, but yeah, absolutely. It's this reality has plenty of paradoxes, ego, for sure. And that's just one way to look at it, one simple way to look at it. We're all that same consciousness or spirit experience in physicality. So kind of wanted to talk through that, and just kind of use that example. So relationships, we just got through with Valentine's Day, and appreciate the loves and all that stuff. What's going on? Italian and Donald Kennedy and Awoken Knowledge. Hey, I like that name. What's good? Tom. So we were just talking about, again, you can see the example. I think it's the last video that I posted, how we're all the same thing experiencing itself through different wounds. And that was the whole example with this, right? So what I'm trying to do is build on these things, right? We're talking about simple things. Kennedy Knox, let's see what Kenzie Knox talking about.
Hello.
Hey, what's good? How you doing?
How are you?
I'm all right. How about yourself?
Oh, there's an echo.
Oh yeah. Let me. Yeah, we're recording this as well. So, how's it going on your end?
It's good. I'm on at a different time. Well, actually, this would be my normal time I come on, but I went on a little earlier today and I met some new people, so that was fun. Fantastic. You get into your time slots and you have your regular people.
Yeah.
So I changed it up. I came on a little earlier and I met some new people, so that was fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah.
So where you on West Coast, East Coast? Where are you at? Like, how do you check?
I'm on the East Coast, Florida, but I am on the Southwest coast of Florida.
Ah, nice. Yeah.
So on the Gulf Coast. Let's.
Cool.
Thank you. Ooh, Alexa. Oh, okay. You know what? Let's do a battle here.
Cool.
Thank you. The ice cream cone, the tennis, the mini speaker.
Oh, so what?
Fantastic.
I've never done a battle before. So how does this work?
Oh, tell your people to tap the screen, and those count for 3, and then they can do whatever they want in terms of gifts and whatnot, just like for support, for fun. It gives them all. It's like our team versus your team.
Okay.
So tap. The more taps they do, it'll get people to come in and flow through your live.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And what do they tap for? Are they just tapping just to tap, or?
Yeah, they could tap like my face. Tell them to tap my face.
Okay. Well, I guess
That usually works. Or tap your face. Whoever I always tell my people to tap your face. Sometimes it gets a little crazy in here, so just warning you. But you said you're recording though, right?
Yeah. So what we're doing, I'm calling this a Spacecast. Oh, look at that. They're tapping. That's pretty.
Oh yes. Oh my God. I think I guess they should say thank you. If there's any like you'll see like a rose or like whatever on the bottom screen.
Yeah. Hey, appreciate it, Jay. Yeah, appreciate y'all tapping. Yeah. This is the first battle, so I guess we're doing a red pill, blue pill kind of thing here. That's pretty funny.
You guys are crushing it.
Gotcha. So,
yes.
that's funny.
Sorry, I told you. Sometimes it gets a little intense. Just tell everyone I get a little intense. Oh, Charles.
I appreciate it. Appreciate y'all tapping. That's pretty funny.
Oh, and for you again. Oh man, thank you for the lights, Rocky. Thank you for the lights. Share the live, guys. Share the live.
Okay, yeah. We got the red pill versus the blue pill. That's what we're.
Oh yeah. Oh, just how I roll. Let's go.
So what? So you got people on your end tapping too? Is that how it works?
Oh, tap a Rooney. Just keep tapping. Just tap the screen. It sends the likes, and you'll see your likes under your name.
Gotcha.
And those just add up. Yeah. Oh, and they can get 3 points per tap, but it just gets people flowing into your live.
I got you. Very cool. Gifts equal money.
Oh, it's your new.
Gotcha.
Welcome. Thank you for the
Well,
so much appreciated.
That's too funny.
Welcome.
Well, learn
I'm
something
nervous that
new.
you're recording that. This is making me nervous. Let's go. Thank you. Yes, Sammy.
Yeah, okay. Well, we got a little race going on.
Yes,
So,
we do. A little battle.
so while they're tapping and everything, like what are the things you talk about when you get on your lives and stuff?
I just talk to them like how everyone's doing, how their days are going. Hold on. Carbon man. Love you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're just going back and forth, Joyce. I guess we're tapping this is the first time for me on this. So she done jumped up. Oh man, she jumped up big time.
What was that?
Yeah, it's just a back and forth deal, Joyce. I'm not exactly sure why.
Sorry,
But-
I got confetti. I don't know what the gifts are all yet, and I get excited. I'm new to TikTok live, so.
Gotcha.
What about you? What do you talk about?
So we talk about like higher consciousness pretty much. So higher consciousness, spirituality, and that kind of stuff.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah. So
And you talk about that daily, or?
yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's what we
What time do you go live? Like this time, or?
yeah, I try to do it at least once a week around this time. I normally do it on Mondays, but since yesterday was Valentine's Day, we kind of pushed it back, let everybody do their thing then.
I popped in and said hello to my followers, people, just gave them some love on Valentine's Day. Make sure everyone felt loved.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'm all about love and positivity. Spreading that love.
That's what's up.
How are you, Rob?
Oh, well, we got 30 more seconds, y'all. Let's go on and tap strong. We're gonna finish this thing out strong. Come on, Red Pillars. I know y'all a good sport for letting it happen, so I appreciate that.
I hope so.
Somebody said you're freaking adorable.
Thanks.
Yeah. You're gonna get more like you. You're definitely more animated than I am. You got it. We won. Appreciate that, y'all. Look at that. We pulled it off at the end. That's what's up.
But in my heart, we won, you guys. That was fantastic. Thank you. You have some snipers over there. You don't even know it.
Yeah, hey, I don't know. That's what's up.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, appreciate it, Anna.
Thank you, Joel, for that roses, food with the calf.
Gunna, what's good? Appreciate it. Okay, yeah. All right, they're saying no more, but that was cool. I appreciate the battle. That was definitely cool. First time for that one.
Oh yeah, I had fun. That was fun. Maybe another time then.
Okay, definitely. It was nice meeting you. Good seeing you.
Fantastic meeting you too. I'll see you later.
All right, see you. That's funny. Hey, I appreciate you guys. Right. Yeah, appreciate you guys tapping and all that stuff. That was interesting. Yeah. Hey, appreciate it, Jason. That was my first one, man. So that's one of the things about letting people in. Last time we had Metatron. I don't know if he's on or not. Metatron got on. Big Web, what's going on, Cassadine? Yeah, we had Metatron come on and share some things. So you never know who's gonna join up. What's going on, pretty brown girl? So yeah, so you never know who you're gonna get. And that was cool. I appreciate you guys being a good sport and tapping. So one of the things we were going to talk about is this tour. And let's see, I caught the last minute. Yeah, yeah, we pulled the thing off last minute, man. And that's interesting just to kind of see that. Yeah, that's, if you look at it from a whole, right? Like I wasn't expecting, her to jump in and Jibbity P, what's good? I wasn't expecting her to jump in and all that stuff. And it's, we're capturing all this. And so that was cool. But yeah, if you look at it, if you look at the whole of this thing, right? And we talked about this all being one thing, right? And we're just experiencing different facets of it. So who knows what that actually meant? Because yeah, you know, we were going back and forth, and then the red pill won last minute, right? So who knows how that actually plays out, right? So, you know, if there's no such thing as coincidence, right? So we were meant to experience that. So that was pretty cool. But one of the things we're going to talk about is this tour, right? This whole exercise, and I'm really kind of gauging the support for it. I'm kind of experimenting on a level with this thing just to kind of see, really push the limits. And we talked about it before, as far as this reality is going to take us to push things forward. We can't expect this type of stuff that we're sharing to be, I was tapping away. I appreciate it, Gutter. Yeah, I know y'all was tapping, man. It was a last minute thing. So, hey, I appreciate it. And hey, I'll be tapping for y'all too. So definitely appreciate that. But yeah, that's what it's, I mean, just using that example, right? We're going to have to generate our own buzz. We got to generate our own attention. We got to support this journey ourselves, because when and we talked about this, we talked about the propaganda, we talked about the media machine, we talked about the control of consent and things of that nature. All the things that are used to keep us limited. We can't expect those things, those same systems to free us, right? But we can use those systems, just like we're using TikTok, to help connect us and help to you know, to generate a community within it, right? And part of the thing is turning these virtual connections into real connections. And another thing is to show an example of this to others as well. And this is something that we'll have to do. It's not something that they'll do on their own accord, because it's not good for business, right? In the traditional sense, what we're talking about. I mean, we're talking about a new system and creating a new system for ourselves, right? I mean, let's say we're the 99%, where we have the power, we have the control, we have the numbers, and we're talking about taking that power back. So those that want to limit us and benefit off of our power, our co-creative abilities, and get us to create things that don't benefit us, they're not going to give us the megaphone to allow us to spread this message freely to each other. So we're going to have to support that ourselves, right? We the people to make it. Absolutely gonna, yeah. We need a green heart button. They pull us down with the red. Need a green heart button. Okay. Yeah, it's already won. True. It's already won on a level. You're absolutely right, Patrick. But the thing is, we still have to play it out. Like, we still got to perform. We still have to put in the action. And that's the thing that you know, it's hard to see how much is enough, when to push, when to coast, when to, you know, it's a balance. You know, this thing is all about balance, right? So, and it's hard to see it when you're in it. When you're in the middle of the hurricane, it's hard to see, you know, you're in the calmness of the eye. It's hard to see all the things that are going around outside of you, right? And there's a lot of chaos and things that are going on. So, you know, I go back and forth, you know, whether there's times where I feel I should be pushing forward, and there's times where you need to coast, you need to let things build up. You know, some things take time. So it's a balance between that. And it's something inside of this. We're all inside of this thing. So it's hard to see on the outside. Yeah, even though we can feel, and we know it's a matter of time, but that still doesn't mean that we should just sit back and wait for things to happen. One good example is, if I put this pin here, all the prayer, all the positive energy, all of the good intentions, you know, and maybe I can get to a point mentally where I can move this pen, right? But I don't know if we have the time to go through that exercise. We need to take action and actually move the things that we can move. So this is what we're in the process of doing. Asking Spirit can help. Absolutely. I just want to, you know, being inside of this thing, and there's no script. Like, you know, there's no script. We're writing the script as we go, right? Because the script that they gave us is going to continue the reality that we've been experiencing, right? That's the same playbook that they want us to run. So when we start taking control and we write our own script, it's scary in a sense because now we're in control of our reality, but that's what we are. We're co-creators, you know? I mean, that's what we do. We create. The thing is, our creative ability has been kind of co-opted into creating things that don't benefit us. We've kind of been lulled to sleep and you know, this is kind of the result of that. But as we're waking up now, we're taking control back and we're taking the wheel, if you will. And yeah, uncharted territory, absolutely. And this is that's the thing. From someone like myself who is a perfectionist, right? Which has its pluses and minuses from any standpoint, right? Knowing it doesn't exist, but it's just something to shoot for, right? So I want to do a good job. I want it to be at the highest level that I can get it to. And it's tough to do that when you don't know exactly what it should look like or how it should happen or how it should form. Like we know what we want to get. We know the feeling that we want to get, but how do we, you know, specifically get from here to there? It's uncharted. And we're just kind of clawing in the dark, if you will, to get there. Yeah, you know, and we want that excellence, absolutely. And it's within us, that's part of us, and we're creating that. But to get to that point, it's going to be a lot of mistakes. We're going to bump our heads. But the thing that I try to do in my approach to things is to not to make the same mistakes twice, to learn from those mistakes. And a mistake is just, you just have evidence of what doesn't work. So if you don't repeat that same thing and you learn from that, and you keep moving, eventually you're going to find the thing that works, right? And that's what we're talking about. Like, we know if we continue on that path, we will find what works. So I know by the caliber of who I find here, and I'm definitely absolutely, you hit it. Yeah, absolutely. And same thing with you, Gunnar. I enjoy these interactions because my day-to-day, you know, it's no, I don't have these conversations in my day-to-day. I'd like to have these conversations on another level, but also take action on another level as well. That's just my personality. That's just me. You know, it's good to have the knowledge, but I want to apply the knowledge. Like, that's why the whole company that I started is Spirituality in Action, where we're taking action, you know, SIA, we're all kings and queens, gods and goddesses. But to be that being, you know, the evidence of that is in the action as well. It's not just talking about it, it's being about it and being that example, right? So just these interactions just show that we're vibrating together on another level. And we're, you know, just looking at it as a whole, as we're reflecting, you know, ourselves to each other, the caliber of reflection that you get back is feedback of the reflection that you're putting out, if you will. So, you know, we're interacting with each other on a level that we're vibrating at, right? And that's a cool thing. And I think that's something that I want to show as well, you know, because again, you know, using this example, we're all the same thing coming from different wombs and different spots, you know, the whole example of this being the matrix, if you will. And if you take some water and you push this down, you're going to have the water come through each of these holes and interact with each other. And that's what we're doing now. You know, we're interacting from wherever we are. And these holes are wounds, if you will, you know. Actual in the Bible, the matrix, it's actually in the Bible. It's womb, right? So it just stands for womb. It's just entrance into this physical reality, right? The vast majority, if you haven't been born in a test tube, you come through a womb. You come through you know, a stargate, if you will, from a goddess to get here. And each of us are gods and goddesses coming through that stargate to get here. All righty. So let's see what Jesus Chavez has to say.
Mac.
Uh-oh, we got a doggy here.
Max. Where the?
Jesus, what's going on with you, man?
Just right here chilling. And how about you?
Chilling, man, chilling. Just yeah, I see you got your little doggies there.
Yep. There's a lot more inside that house, but they're not coming out.
Gotcha. So you dog sitting, or you just go live with your dogs? That are those your dogs or?
Just go live like random.
Ah, gotcha. All right, cool, man. Hey, well, I appreciate you checking in, man.
Yeah. All right then.
All right, take it easy, boss.
All right, you too. Bye.
All right. Yeah, so, all right, so we'll get back to reverb. Are you hearing some reverb? Oh, are you saying we're reverb? I thought you were hearing some reverb. What's good? What's good, Anna? So, got to make a real life community. Absolutely. And this is part of the process. I mean, we're building this thing out, and not everything is going to be online. Not everything is going to be on TikTok and all of these things. Like what I really feel I want to be a part of creating, and I think this is part of it. It's like a real life kind of Kingsman type organization. We talked about a think tank before, but it's like-minded individuals with a shared interest, and our shared interest is, let's just say, higher consciousness from that standpoint, coming together and building something that is greater than our individual parts, right? You know, that's a mastermind, if you will. We've seen examples of that. We have examples of that are being done on a controlling more negative aspect. We see that. We see think tank. We see people that come up with these plans and execute these plans that are multidimensional and multifaceted. So we can use those same examples to do something like that for good. And that's what I want to do. I think this is the process of doing that. And it's very movie-like. And I kind of hit on this as well, because there's some things, I got a lot of different irons in the fire, and I'm really seeing which one pops up first. Because one of the things I want to do, one of the first steps, is to get to a situation to where it's not a balance of money and time. Like there's been times, and I talked about this before, where I've had money and not time. There's times where I've had time and not money. But to be, hey, what's going on, Lex? How you doing? So there's been times where it's been both. But to be able to have the time and the money, right? Then you can really be free to really explore things you want to do. And from a collective standpoint, we can do that, right? I mean, you think about these rich people, they get their money and stuff from us. We're the ones that are making these billionaires, and all of these things. They don't exist. We're the ones that generate the money and work hard to give them our money, right? For these things that they make us think that we need, and all of these things. So it's a whole system involved in it, right? And we've seen throughout this whole pandemic, the accumulation of wealth has been funneled to less and less people, fewer and fewer people. And now those fewer and few people have more power and influence. So, you know, I like to see what would happen if our community had that kind of money to be able to quickly do things. I mean, money solves a lot of things. It's not the root of all evil. Like, money is just a tool, just like this pen is a tool. I can use this pen to write something positive or something negative, right? So money itself, now the love of money, that's another thing. But money itself is just a tool. So it's a tool that we can use as well. And we've seen it used in ways that benefit a select few, but we can use it in ways that benefit the whole. It's our money anyway, right? And there's plenty of ideas and things that we can do to really, and to me, it looks like a Taurus, to where right now our money goes up to these select few and they hoard it, to where now the money is recycled to us, right? And we're able to do things on a different level. It's a new reality, right? Right now, the people that have the money, power, and the resources, they're greedy. They hoard these things. They feel that those things make them special, and that way and I'm painting with a broad brush, but they don't want to share those kind of things. They don't want you to be on that level, because then you're just like them, which you are. They're nobody special. These rich and powerful people are dealing with the same issues that everyone else is dealing with, right? Just because they can hide it better doesn't, they're still compensating for a lot of things. They're still trying to fill a hole that can only be filled with truth and love and knowledge of self and things of that nature, with money and materialistic things. And that's why they have to keep doing that. They have to keep feeding that thing. And at the end of the day, a lot of them aren't happy. You can see that with a lot of celebrities, rich and powerful people. So that's just an example. If you think that money is going to bring you happiness and things of that nature, a lot of these people that get in those positions really see that is, happiness is not an external thing. No one has the, let's just look at this. No one has the power to make you feel anyway, right? No one has the power to make you happy or unhappy or sad, so I know we're taught that we have to be slaves to our emotions. Our emotions give us feedback, but as a conscious being, as a sovereign being, we can choose how we react to that input. You can just look at an example. You can look at a situation where you would act differently than someone else for the same situation, right? So we have a choice in how we react to things. So we don't have to be a slave to our emotions. Super Bowl brought 1.6 billion. Man, yeah, homeless and hungry. Yeah, I'm making money. They never send it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the money is there. The money is there. The money is there. Like I think what I do in that situation, and I mean, you can see how I'm a minimalist anyway. Like I don't carry a lot of material stuff with me to just period, right? And I could have big TVs and all of this stuff if I wanted to, but that's just not me. I rather use those things for other things. I've invested a lot of money and time and resource into this with the hopes that it will potentially pay off so that there's more dividends to share. Because I really want to see what that looks like. What would happen if a billionaire was a spiritually awake billionaire that actually wanted to help the world on a larger level, and actually wanted to solve these problems that exist now, right? Instead of just enriching themselves and making shareholder value, what if you wanted to bring more value to humanity? Like, what does that look like? Like, I like to be a part of that. Super Bowl, that's bread and circus. And a lot of people want to be distracted. They want to win. Like, we just had that contest, right? Like, she was jumping up and down. She was genuinely wanting to win, and she was excited about that. It didn't mean anything, then the Super Bowl doesn't mean anything to those. So if you're a Ram or a Bengal, it doesn't mean anything, right? But to identify with the winner, and to identify with winning a championship, it doesn't mean anything, right? But some people are happy and some people are sad. I mean, you see these grown men out there crying because they lost a game, right? It's just a game, right? It's not even real. It's real in the aspect of the field, right? And let's just take it on a high level. We're also playing a game, if you will, right? And this is the field, right? And we talked about the referees, spiritual high intensity field training, right? So this is the field that we're all in. We're experiencing this field, and this field is our playground, right? Now, the thing about this field, when you think about it, is who makes the rules? We talked about writing a script, right? Black and white. I'm just thinking this as I'm talking, the referee, right? Who makes the rules? Who says what is right and what's wrong, what you could do, what you can't do, what you shouldn't do, what you shouldn't think, all of these things, right? When you look at this field, the referees, it's like wrestling. The referees are not calling the right calls. So we can't expect that to happen on this field because, again, there are no rules. We make the rules, right? We've been following the rules that have been given to us by people that have manipulated the rules so that they win. Just like the NFL. The NFL wins every championship. It doesn't matter which team they put them there. The NFL wins every championship. So we can make our own rules. We're in the field, we're part of the field. So we just haven't seen many examples of that. And when I first had my awakening, I thought that it would be something that would be embraced. I thought, well, this would be something, this is the best news you'll hear. What's more fundamental? What's better news than what we're talking about? But when you see the level of suppression, then we can put our tinfoil hats on. It's not it's purposeful, right? So then you have to ask yourself, well, why don't you want this to be mainstream? Why isn't this conversation something that's on Fox and CNN and whatever, quote unquote news is out there, right? Why is this on the backside of TikTok, and there's a reason for that, because it's bad for business. But business is not everything, right? Business is that's part of this whole system, right? Think about what you can get people to do and not do for money, right? That's a very powerful way to control people. And yeah, it's all distractions to keep us from seeing the truth and the fact that it's always black and right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So and the people, and this is one of the things I want to see, because I'm experimenting with this as well. Like, I know my time here is limited. From a currency standpoint, the only real currency is time. When they say, who do you spend your time with, right? What do you spend your time on? That lets me know, and that lets you know about what they really want to, what's really important to them, right? Because that's the only thing that you can't get back, right? You can be broke and get money back, been there, right? But you can't get time back, right? So what do you spend your time on? Who do you spend your time with? That kind of shows where your head is, where your mind is. And we have time for this, right? But some people will spend their time in other ways, right? There's some people, I couldn't tell you, I knew a couple of the quarterbacks for the team, but let's say I knew maybe 3 or 4 players on the field. But there's some people that would know the players, the coaches, and the history and all of this stuff. They spend a lot of time. They invested a lot of time into that sport, into that game, into that team, into these things, right? So that's important to them. And my only thing to question, when you spend your time, what kind of investment are you getting back for your time spent, right? Because if you spend all your time in this particular game and then your team loses and you feel bad, is that really benefiting you, right? Could that time have been spent other ways? And that's a decision each of us have to make, right? As far as what's important to us and what we spend our time on. So one of the things that was talked about earlier that we'll get into is this whole tour thing. And that's part of the reason why I'm on social media, not for likes or not for to play the game that we played, right? The little red and blue thing. It's to make connections and make real interactions. And there's, I don't know how many, almost 40,000 people, right? But out of those 40,000 people that are following, you can narrow that down to only a few that actually want to take action and actually want to do something. And that's fine. It only takes a few, right? It only takes a few. And that's part of the intent, because without this interaction, those few, like, they're not where I work, right? They're they may be in other places. And part of touring and visiting other places is to show, for one, that there's more of us spread out than we realize, and to show a united front, right? And I like to see how that looks. I like to see how the mainstream reacts to a united, simple, spiritually aware front, to where we're in agreement on just the basics. That's why I try to keep it very simple. It's like my journey, and I was brought up, with religion and things of that nature, but I tried to deprogram myself. And I said, well, what would I be able to find out is true if I didn't take anyone else's word for it, right? I just used my own mind, heart, and nature. And that was it, right? No belief systems or anything like that. So I tried to do it the back way, if you will, and had an experience of that. And I said during that journey, if I ever had any realization, I'd be the worst secret keeper on the planet. And hopefully I'm living up to the promise that I made to the universe on that one. And it's interesting. I'll tell this story, and then we'll jump into some other things. The 100-degree challenge is basically the logic to show that this is at least possible. You have to have your own realization, right? The whole intent is to show that it's possible, to show that it's real, to show that it's beneficial, and to show that it's valuable, right? There was a video that I posted where Greg Braden was talking about the split in realities. And we talked about that as well, the red pill and blue pill, if you will. And you can see the split, and that split is happening. You know, some of you guys are watching the Super Bowl. You know, you may be able to agree on the game, but the conversations before and after the game were probably nowhere near the conversations that we're having now. And these are your family and friends and people that you love. So that split is there. I see the quarantine backfired and gave us, yeah, I agree with you on that, Gunnar. I do agree with you on that. But there's that split, right? And we talked about this even before the Greg Brayton video, and the thing is, when it's all one thing and you're in that flow, you're hitting on the same thing. We're all hitting on the same thing. So it's resonating because we're all on that same frequency, right? But the thing he was talking about was there's going to be this side and this side. And the split is going to be necessary because you need the comparison. You need to be able to look at the red pill and blue pill, using the whole matrix analogy. The red pill was just an alternative choice, and Neo was able to weigh his options, right? And able to have a true choice. Whereas now we're just given a light blue pill and a dark blue pill, right? It's really a false choice. So to really show the alternative and to be able to speak to the value of it, because they try to control the narrative. Like, we see the playbook, we understand the things that they're doing against us. The internet has gave us the ability, for those that want to spend their time researching and doing things like that, on how these tools are used against us, right? So we can learn, because part of, I think, their code is they get consent on a level by showing us things, predictive programming, if you will. And if we don't do anything, it's like, well, you know, it's like we give consent in a way. But those of us that see that, we can see right through it. We can see, and they're not creative. They're not as creative as we are. So they run the same script. There's power in knowing what you don't want to by experience. Yeah. And that's the thing. Once you have the experience, then no one can take that from you. No one can show you otherwise or prove to you otherwise. You have your own experience. So my thing was, I was intellectually like, this made sense. And I went started from scratch, you know, from an atheistic standpoint. You know, I have to prove to myself that there's even this thing called God or a creator or whatever, right? And even the name God is charged because there's a lot of religious doctrine around this creator. They make it into a man or a woman or a thing in the sky and all of these things. Just saying that name, you know, doesn't do the creative force behind everything any justice, right? But the cool thing is, and the paradox of all of that, is that same creative force that created all of this is experiencing its own creation through us, right? So it's huge in a sense, and so vast, it's unfathomable, but it's so personal and so intimate that we all can have a personal experience of it, right? And that's the thing. So when we can show that and show the value of that, then when we have that comparison, they can really see. And then you can see the choice and you can see the difference. And then on top of that, they can talk to you guys. They can talk to Gunnar, they can talk to Alexis, they can talk to Eagle, they can talk to Janice, and they can see people that look like them and that have come from similar backgrounds. And they can see that, you know, it's not just one person, you know, and they try to make it seem like we're crazy and all of this stuff. But I'm like, show me where I'm wrong, prove where I'm wrong, where it's just not possible. I'm someone that's living that experience now on a day-to-day basis. And once you wake up, you don't go back to sleep, right? Even though sometimes you think about it, right? Like the whole cipher, you know, but once you see, you can't unsee. And we all want that experience for others. And there's a time and things as well, you know, just like taking a horse to drink, you can't make them drink. But all we can do is show that the water's good, we're drinking the water, and it's there when they're ready, right? But we're not waiting on that on another level as well. We're still taking actions on our end, right? Because absolutely, James, we are one. And we're taking action on that. So there's going to be different levels. Like, the thing is, once we begin to organize, people are going to file in and participate at the level that they want to participate in. Not everyone wants to be the guy, you know, doing whatever I'm doing, or, you know, each one of us on here, has skills, has talent, has things that they can contribute, that they're passionate about. And that's what we were able to create. We're able to use our talents and gifts to not only support ourselves and feed ourselves and do the things that we want to do, but also help the collective on a level as well. Like we can do both, right? It doesn't have to be either or. We talk about the rules and everything and the way this matrix is set up, the strict way that we govern ourselves. I mean, think about it. Everything that we got is free. Everything that we got is free. We got everything that we need on this planet to thrive. The way we divvy it up is the system that we've allowed to be here, right? And that system of divvying things up, like how do you even own land, right? I mean, do you own the dirt? Can you show me the deed for the dirt, right? But we have this system that, and there's momentum as well. I know all of us didn't create it, right? We're one of the ones that are exposing it and trying to create a new one. So there's momentum as well. But this system, again, with everything free, we've allowed it to be controlled by a select few, right? But this is just one specific way that we can govern ourselves, that we can live on this planet. One specific way. There's an infinite number of different ways that we can do that are better than this on multiple different levels. We're just not exposed to that. We're either taught as this or that. Are you going to get this one or that one? Again, it's a false sense of choice. Like if you don't like the light blue pill, then take the darker blue pill, right? And that's all we're given. So, but there's a lot of different ways that we can interact with each other. And part of that is just showing that. And that's what I want to do. I really want to see what happens when the cat really gets out of the bag, because they can't control the narrative. Like they're not going to be able to control my narrative. They can't control your narrative. They're not going to be able to make it what it's not. And they will try, because that's the script that they run. They'll try to make it seem as if we don't know what we're talking about because we're having our own experience. We're talking about experience, and it's not, and we've cut out the middleman. That's really we've cut out the middleman. We went directly to the source. We've cut out the middleman. We went directly to the source, and they don't like that because the middleman, the shepherd, if you will, is the one that controls the flock, right? So they want us to be shepherded because they don't have the resources to control all of us. So, they have gatekeepers and they have shepherds, if you will, that control their flock, right? And those shepherds are supposedly the intermediaries between us and the higher powers, if you will, when we are that higher power. And when we take out the middleman, then we have that direct experience and we realize we don't need the middleman. We are the higher power. That is us. We take that power back. But part of the program is that we need these intermediary figures and things of that nature. That's kind of how we've been taught. So we were going to get into the whole tour thing. And I talked about it before, and I did a video on it, like the whole presidential thing. So the system, like you can look at it two ways. You can say, well, the system is broken, or you can say the system is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Right. And I'll be curious to hear your thoughts on that. Now, let's say the system is broken. Let's just look at it from that standpoint. Let's say the system is broken and we can see evidence of it being broken, whether we agree it's functioning correctly or not. Let's say that it is not functioning correct. By design, I'm with you, Ego. But let's just play devil's advocate. And that's what we can do. We can play devil's advocate. We can explore other ideas. We're not locked into a dogmatic way of this is absolutely the way. We can explore both sides. And if it's true, then you're going to come back to it anyway. So I can explore all of these things that I want to. It doesn't degrade me in one bit. If it's true, then I'm going to come back to the truth anyway, right? So as I mentioned before, the truth fears no question. But so let's say that it was, let's say maybe the end game is entrapment and the dense out of reach. Yeah, I'm with you, Focus Army. That is the, I mean, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. But since we're able to see that and we're able to call it out, just like you called it out, we can do something about it. And that's what we're in the process of doing. So, okay, I'm with you, Janice. So let's say the system is broken. and it's not functioning correctly. So do we expect the broken system to fix itself? And do we have any evidence, either now or historically, of a broken system on the level that it's broken, fixing itself? You know, is this something that's going to be fixed internally, right? Now, you may believe that, some may believe yes or no, but my thing is, I don't see much evidence of that. I don't see much desire, because the broken system is benefiting the people that benefit from the broken system, right? So it's a whole thing that's going on there. So there's no incentive for them to fix something that's going to limit their power and control, right? Just kind of going back to what Focus Army mentioned, right? So if that is the intent, then it's, I think, unrealistic in a sense to think that it's going to fix itself. And that's kind of the choices that they give us, right? You know, you don't like this, you vote this person in. Hey, they don't do right, you vote that person in, but it's still the same system that they're operating in. So that's a possibility. And here's the thing, we can play on a multi-dimensional level. We can put an iron in that fire, we can put an iron in this fire, we can put an iron in that fire, and whichever one is the one that gets lit the quickest, that's the one that we'll put more energy to. So it doesn't have to, we don't have to put all of our eggs in one basket, right? So we're multi-dimensional beings. We can play on multiple levels. We can look at it as if the system is going to fix itself, and we can look at it as if it's not. And we can take actions going both ways, you know, experimental, using science, if you will, and we can see which one gives us the better result, right? And that's part of what I'm doing now. I'm putting a lot of different feelers out there and seeing where is the attention, where is the energy at, where is the place that we can make the biggest impact, and then gather some resources, some attention, some momentum, and then we can use that in different ways, right? So the broken system is absolutely, yeah, absolutely, Ego. It's great, and it has to. Just look at it from that standpoint. And we did a video on that. The only way 1 penny can control 99 pennies is if the 99 pennies don't know their own value, right? So we did a video on that, right? You got $1, 1% control of 99%. That's the only way you can do that, right? You've never seen someone with 99 cents say they can't buy something because it's 1 penny, you know, no, right? You got the majority. So the system has to deflate your self-worth to make you feel like you're less than what you actually are. That's the only way they can control you, right? By putting these intermediaries in, by making you think you're a sinner and you're this and you're that and you're broken and all of these things. You're worth whatever they use to deflate your self-worth, right? And, you know, yeah, they've done that on multiple levels. So you can see that in the work. So that's why they're not too thrilled about empowering the people, right? Giving them their power back, because that goes against the system, you know, that takes their power away. So unity with the same intent is very, very powerful. Maybe that's why, they absolutely try to divide, because that's the only game that they have, is divide and conquer, divided. They have to keep us fighting each other, right? And some of us do that. Some of us actually take up the ideas that we're given, and we're policing the system ourselves, right? You see that a lot. And a lot of it has to do with money. We talked about before, money can make good people do bad things. Our religion can make good people do bad things. You know, and it's a lot of, the thing is, they also know about emotion, psyche, and things of that nature. So they have people, very smart people, that know how our brain works, know how our psyche works, know how our emotions work, and are using that to manipulate us. And if we don't see that, then we're just falling into line with that, right? So they have resources. I mean, because they can pay a genius person that knows, you know, this and that about the brain to do something that is going to control more people, right? Or limit more people, or get them to behave or react in a certain way. They can do that with money. And that person, whether they have a moral compass or not, they still may have bills, have kids to feed, things of that nature. So that's part of the system that we're in. That's one of the ways that they kind of control us. I'm drawn to ending racism and prejudice of any kind. Absolutely. Racism is a huge one. It's a huge one. And fear is a means of control. Absolutely. A lot of fear. They use a lot of fear. It's the same playbook. It's the same playbook because they're not creative. They're not creative. They are not creative. This is what I feel. They run the same play because they're not creative. And they use our creative ability. Just think about TikTok, for example. We're all on TikTok, right? We enjoy TikTok. This allows us to connect, and we look at whatever we look at on TikTok. What we're looking at on TikTok is not the creators of TikTok doing things. We're looking at ourselves doing things, right? We're the creators. We're the ones that are driving ourselves on these apps, right? So we're the ones that have the creative ability, and we're just funneling that creative ability through these different funnels that only benefit a few. Same thing with Facebook, Instagram, whatever these social media sites are. We're the creators. We're the ones that are using these sites that are getting our own attention, right? So one of the things I mentioned as well is it's our time. We're putting our time and effort into this, and we're getting nothing out of it, right? For free access to this, they're monetizing our time, right? And making a lot of money out of it. And what do we get out of it? So why not have an app where it benefits us, right? I mean, we can do that. These are things that we can do. So these are the kind of things that are possible, right? There's so many things that can be done. One of the things that I want to I guess instill in people is to not wait for someone to do something that we can do ourselves, because a whole waiting game, and we've been waiting for certain people to come back for thousands of years, right? And there are things that we can do ourselves. There's plenty of low-hanging fruit, right, that we can pick ourselves, that we don't need a ladder for. We don't need any other external thing to get, right? And we should start doing that. Yes, we want to return to interest. Hey, I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah. TikTok brings everything into the mainstream. Yeah, and that's the thing. Just it's a tool, just like anything else is a tool. But a lot of these tools, again, are powered by us. Like we power everything. The 99% power everything. Once they realize that, then they can power a system that empowers them, right? That whole Taurus thing. They can empower a system that's, that recycles the energy into themselves, right? Like a lot of people want to do good, but we're waiting for someone else that has the time and the money and resources to do that for us. And we give them those resources. We allow them to have those resources. The whole trickle down thing, it doesn't work. Like we've seen evidence of that. So we should stop waiting for that to happen. And we should start creating systems for ourselves. And we can do that. That's the thing. But again, you won't hear this in the mainstream. You won't hear this talked about. So that's part of why I want to do this whole presidential, and I'm using the presidential thing because it's people understand that. They understand someone campaigning, they understand someone going from city to city, town halls, question and answers, and we can talk about these things in the open. Now, I'll be interested to see what the press would do with a presidential candidate that's talking about these things, that's talking about spirituality, that's talking about awakening, that's not talking about the division that's going on, that's not talking about partisan politics, that's not talking about, all the things that are used to divide us. Like how they try to paint that person into a picture, right? They can't pigeonhole that person into any particular picture, right? And then especially when that person is saying that they're no one special and they're just like the other people that are on the other side of this phone that are watching this, that are interacting with this, right? We're all one. So this is just an example of that on a large scale. And how do they react to that? That's what I want to see, just out of just my own curiosity. What happens when they can't control the narrative, when the cat gets out of the bag, right? And we're able to do that. And yeah, we have to create the template, blaze the path, absolutely. And you mentioned the template, like we're using templates that have already been created. TikTok is a template that we didn't create, but we're using that template for our own benefit, right? We're using it in this particular way. Other people can use it in other different ways, just like the same pen. So that whole campaign template is just something that, again, it would not take very much effort for people to realize what's going on there, what this journey is. Now, the individual on that journey, they'll learn, I think, through that experience, a different perspective. It's just like, you know, a red pill president, if you will, just using a matrix term, right? They'll see that perspective. That doesn't mean they're going to take it. It doesn't mean that they want that. A lot of people don't even want that responsibility of taking control of their own life. They rather push that onto someone else, right? They're so used to going to a middleman or authority figure. They don't want that responsibility. They want to be like Cypher in the Matrix. They know it's not real, but you know, they rather that than the real world. You know, people on this live and that are following this journey, they want the truth, right? They can handle the truth. And I know a lot of people say, well, you can't handle the truth, but let's see, you know, let's give them that choice. Let's let them make that choice for themselves. I wouldn't want anyone telling me what I could and couldn't handle, right? I would want to make that choice myself. If I'm presented something and it's not time for me, then it's not time for me. And there was a time in my journey where someone was talking about things that I wasn't ready for at that particular time, right? And, you know, I didn't want that responsibility. I wasn't listening, you know? So I understand that. So that's why there's a patience thing as well. But we have enough numbers, we have enough people that are here and understand things to where we can make an impact. And we're making an impact. It's a process. So there's patience involved as well. But we still have to keep going and keep blazing that path, which is what we're doing. So I'm just using that format. And plus two, it's, again, I'm kind of playing with the whole media thing. It's more something that they use. It's a system that's already in place, right? Like they'll pick those kind of things up, and I know there'll be suppression and all of these things, but again, it's a system that's already in place. We're not recreating the wheel with this particular campaign. So that's the whole point of it. And with you guys, if there's a appetite for it, if there's a want for it, then we can create it, you know, even if it's on a small scale, even if it's a grassroots start, which is what it is now. It can grow quickly and grow into something huge. Once people really start to see it, and once they can see the value of it, that's the whole thing. A lot of people, we talked about this before, are self-interested, right? You know, they're selfish. There's some people that would only want to be involved in this kind of thing because it benefits them, right? And that's their own journeys, right? But the thing is just to show them that option and to show them that this is more beneficial for you, even if you don't prescribe to, even if you don't want the power of claiming to be God yourself, being able to be in control of your emotions, being able to make better decisions, being able to do things like that could be beneficial to you, right? Not everyone wants that responsibility, right? And for different reasons. So, you know, we're not forcing anyone to do anything that they don't want to do. We're just showing them the option and showing them the value in the option. And they can pick from whatever they're ready to, you know, maybe they don't want the whole plate. Maybe they just want to taste, but the food is there. And the food is definitely better than the slop that we've been getting, right? So we just show them that option and let them eat at their own rate. You know, we take them to the horse to the lake and drink as much as you want, right? So that's the kind of deal. They say ignorance is bliss, but isn't. No, it's not. It is. I understand why they say it. But no. We're paying for our ignorance now, and yeah, I definitely don't think it's bliss, but I get what you're saying, and some people think, but again, they haven't been shown the alternative. You know, they haven't been shown the negative impacts of this ignorance, right? And not only that, but all of the things that they're ignorant of that's beneficial to them, right? So you can be just ignorant of this thing, but they may not be aware that all of these other things that they're ignorant of are actually things that they would benefit their lives, like would help them in a way that, you know, would give them more fulfillment, right? So they're not aware of that potential. And that's part of what we want to show as well. Yes, and being woke is no picnic. No, it is not. It is not. That is absolutely true. That's absolutely true. Especially those that are we're like the canary in the gold mine, pretty much. So it's yeah, it's a journey, and it's I think part of the reason why it's been as difficult as it has been for those, and maybe some people have just had just a smooth ride, right? A lot of the people that I've talked to, it hasn't been that, right? There's been a lot of shadow work, a lot of forgiveness, a lot of momentum that's gotten us to this point that we have to reverse, right? So yeah, it is lonely. I'm with you on that, Alexis. Definitely. But it's a process, right? And we're in the middle of that process. And we found some community within ourselves to show that we're not alone, even though it is a lonely thing. But I mean, you think about life itself is kind of lonely. We come in alone and we die alone. But in the middle of this thing is relationships, right? We talked about that earlier, and relationships with ourselves. And maybe that's part of the journey, is to realize that we don't have to be alone, right? I jump time all the time. That's what's up. That's what's up. And I feel you on that. I think the timelines are diverting now. And I'm hoping that, we can make individual jumps, just like, you say you jump. But I think there's a possibility for a collective jump as well. And I don't think it's going to be all. I think there's still going to be an area of separation, but that separation will allow the people that are on this side to condense and be able to form a more rigid structure, right? It's still separate in a sense, but now we have this structure that's more solidified. It's not as gooey as it is now. And then from and just my perspective, from that standpoint, now there's more organization to help the other side. It's like we split up, and then we're on this side, we organized, and now we have a united front to help on a larger scale. All right, so all right, let's see. I wouldn't change. Yeah, it's a ride for sure. The rapture is a collective jump. I feel you on that. And the rapture. Yeah, I see you put it in quotes. So you probably don't think it's just going to be people disappearing, right? I know there's some people that prescribe to that, but I think that there's just the whole separation, right? I think we're in the middle of that as well. What's going on, Janice? Oh, Jan, I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm with you on that. And I think we're in the process of that. And the thing is, we talked about it before, there's no script. Like, we're making the script up as we go, right? There's no playbook that we follow. The playbook that we're following is we are who we are. We use love, we use understanding, we use forgiveness, we use truth, we use things of that nature. And we use intuition, we use connection, relationships, things of that nature, and synchronicity, things of that nature, right? And that allows it to form. Like, part of my journey is kind of watching this thing form, and just being a part of it. I think it's pretty cool because, this is only going to happen once, right? And to be a part of that is pretty cool. To be able to have the mentality and the spiritual awareness to have to be on the forefront of something like this is impressive. Like, pat yourselves on the back, and that's something that we really don't have a lot of, because people don't really see the benefit in what we're doing and the realizations that we have and the work that we've done to get where we are, because it's not in their normal reality. They don't see the value in it. But definitely pat yourselves on the back and give yourselves credit for where you came from. And I have to, listen to what I say as well, because, a lot of us, we want to keep pushing. We want more. We want to reach our potential, right? Because we know we're limitless beings. So we really want to embody as much of that as we can. But you also have to keep in mind where you came from, and you have made it far, and congratulate yourself for that. Becoming a home for people with similar questions, higher consciousness and breast knowledge. Absolutely, absolutely. And it's going to be different levels. Like my intention is not to be a spiritual teacher or anything like that. Like that's not that's not what I feel, you know, my purpose or whatever it is, right? I feel the reason that I share what I share is because I put out the information that I would have liked to have seen on my journey. It's like, you know, all of the times I bumped my head and went down rabbit holes that weren't beneficial, you know, I'm trying to blaze that path and also potentially save another one from wasting time or going down things that aren't beneficial. And you know, that's my way of giving back, if you will. But I'm an explorer. I'm sure you guys are explorers too, and we want to see what the limits are for ourselves from a collective standpoint. And I want to see what I can affect in this reality, just from that standpoint. How much change could we really bring? I believe that if you can imagine something, you can create it. So there's plenty of things that I've imagined that are possible. And if I continue on that path, then, you know, that helps create it. And then that also embodies that vibration of that thing already being created, which attracts more resources and more ways to make it happen, right? So that's what we're in the process of doing. Especially when I just woke last April at 54. Shoot, yeah, hey, Gunner, that's a hats off to you for that, man. Yeah, it's never too late, and that's the thing. I mean, I was late to the game as well, and yeah, it's never too late. As long as you're here and you're still breathing, then you're still in the game. And you know, that's a testament to you, because that shows your openness. And not many people are going to be open to things that are contrary to the things that they've been taught or believed or embodied for a long period of time. Like I know people that don't want to even entertain themselves being wrong, not because they could be wrong, because they've identified with their beliefs and because they are, you know, they've invested in those beliefs. And they, you know, so to be able to have that open mind is a testament to you, especially through years of programming, right? So I chose absolutely, yeah, this is the best time in history, and yeah, and we're doing something special, and that's the other thing. Like I see that, right? I really see that, and in my mind as a perfectionist, right? Like this thing, I mean, the best production team, the best everything should be on this right now, right? This story that we're telling is the greatest story ever told. It's better than any sci-fi movie that you're going to see. I mean, and we haven't even touched the surface of a lot of things, but this is the greatest, this is the best news, the greatest story that we're going to experience, right? And it should be treated as such, right? It should have the best sound. I mean, it should be captured at the most fidelity possible. And but you know, we're doing the best we can with what we have. But just because there isn't a camera crew and there isn't Oprah sitting back here clapping doesn't mean that what we're talking about is not as valuable or important as anyone that she would have on her couch, right? And that's the thing. Some people equate that value with famous people and things of that nature. You know, if it was true, it would be on the news. Or if it was so important, this person or that person will be talking to you and be where you are. But the interesting thing, and this is something I would like to see as well, is with us, we can generate our own attention because we're the same people that watch these shows and give them that same energy and time. We can do that to ourselves, and we can elevate ourselves to where we're telling our own story and we don't need them. And then when they do come, excuse me, when they do come to the fold, because they will eventually, when they do come to the fold, now you see them coming and it's a whole different perspective, right? Now, and that's a whole different light for the people that aren't on this train. They'll see that as well. They'll be like, well, hey, you're supposed to be at the forefront of this stuff. You know, I'm just picking on Oprah. Oprah, you know, why aren't you talking about this on your show or whatever, right? The newscaster, all of these things. I mean, why aren't you telling us this? Why are you now coming to the story late? So and you'll see them tap dance and stuff when that happens. Yeah, they want to label us crazy because the truth destroys them. Absolutely. And that's the thing. It's easy to say you're crazy, but my whole thing is where, how, show me. I could be wrong. I'm not saying that I'm right all the time. I've been wrong plenty of times. I could be wrong this time, but everything is telling me that I'm right? But I'm open-minded to being wrong. So show me where I'm wrong. Show me how I'm wrong. Let's discuss this. Let's have a debate about this, right? You can just call me crazy, but I'm saying how, where. And I specifically did the 100-degree challenge to give them an easy way to show I'm crazy, right? To show that we're crazy. Just using facts. This isn't anything, and I don't own the truth. You don't own the truth. That's the thing. There's no ownership of the truth, right? So, they would try to paint us as crazy, but if you're able to stand your ground, if you're able to hold your space and you're not crazy and you're able to intelligently speak and not get all emotional, then we can see who's more crazy. Let's compare crazy. Let's compare which one passes Occam's razor the most, right? Which one is, we talked about this before, is consciousness primary or is matter primary? Is consciousness, are we spiritual beings having a human experience, or is there no such thing as spirit consciousness and all that stuff? Let's compare the two. Let's see which one is actually crazy. Let's see which one actually has more value, which one benefits humanity more. I mean, we can have that discussion. We're just practicing the scientific method. Absolutely, question everything. And that's why, and that's a good point too, because now you hear this narrative of trust the science, right? And it's funny, they use that only for a certain degree, like trust the science when it comes to this particular medicine, if you will, right? Trust the science here. Okay, well, now let's expand that out. Trust the science when it comes to consciousness. Trust the science when it comes to our non-physical nature, our being nature, right? Trust the science when it comes to the realization that we are gods, that we are this one consciousness experience in itself, right? Just because science hasn't caught up to that and it's not mainstream yet doesn't mean it's true. There are people that are on the forefront of science that aren't the most popular and don't have the shows and all of this thing. Doesn't mean it's not true. A lot of those scientific discoveries that are made, they were called crazy too, right? I can't think of his name, but there was a guy that was like, hey, after you do this surgery, you might want to wash your hands, because they were doing, they were like birthing babies and then going right from that into doing other medical procedures, right? And people were dying, right? And this guy was like, hey, there's these invisible things, you can't see them, they're called germs. And if you wash your hands in between, it would help reduce the mortality, right? And that guy was crazy, right? And he was a scientist. He was talking to other scientists. So just, science can be very dogmatic as well. So, that's the thing. Science is not infallible. It's just people. It's just people. At the end of the day, it's just people. And they use the scientific method. The scientific method is supposed to be a way to search for truth. That's all it is. It's to try to take your to search for it objectively. That's all it is. So we can all be scientists. It's not specific to, you don't have to have a degree to be a scientist, right? So that's all science is a search for truth. The thing is, science is very limited in where they search for truth, right? And most scientists don't even know who they are, right? And they're bumping their heads onto that. But yeah, so they say trust the science, trust the scientists, but science, is not infallible. And science can be co-opted with money as well. I can pay for certain results scientifically. I can doctor data. There's things that you can do. Science is not infallible. I know they try to make it seem like it's the be all end all, but it's not. It's people that are running that as well. Trust the science when it comes to American diet, right? Exactly. Medical, yeah. Trust the FDA and the CDC and things like that. I mean, when you really look at that whole system, and this is something we can talk about from a political standpoint, because how many candidates are going to talk about the revolving door between these companies and these governmental agencies that are supposed to regulate these companies, right? How they go back and forth between, let's say, the FDA and or the CDC and FDA into big pharma and big agriculture, right? How they're regulating each other. And we can also bring up the question, why are some of the things that are carcinogenic and things of that nature FDA approved? Just because something is FDA approved doesn't mean it's good for you, right? So, we can get into these kind of discussions, and it's not even a conspiracy theory. We can pull up the data. We can show how other countries don't allow the things that we consume on a regular basis in their country because of the detriment to their health, right? There's plenty of examples of that. So these are all things that we can bring to light that an average candidate wouldn't bring to light. The reason why an average candidate wouldn't bring to light, part of that whole system, is because of the money involved in politics and how these same interests, fund these candidates. So they're not going to bite the hand that feeds them, just like the news is not going to bite the hand that feeds them. Look who a lot of the news is brought to you by, right? So it's just something to keep in mind. FDA is just another corporation. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, lobbying. I was just going to mention that, lobbying. I mean, lobbying is just like legal bribery. It's crazy. And I got to pull up the video I did when I was looking at, I did a whole Us for 2020 deal where I was trying to, do the whole presidential thing there. And I was looking at the money in politics and looking at how corporations fund both sides of the candidates. And these are things that you can take a look at. There's places like PolitiFact, Open Secrets, where you can see the campaign contributions and you can see how they're playing a field, right? And it's there. The thing is, in the age of information, which is where we all have access to a lot of information. Ignorance is a choice. And the thing is, we just haven't been shown how detrimental that choice of ignorance is for us and to our families and to the things and people that we love, right? Appreciate the love, Wedge. And as soon as we're able to do that, then we'll see that. I'm waking. What's up with you, man? Just not realize who that was, boss. Keep us sick under big pharma corporations run this country, not the people. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. And when you think about a corporation, what is their motive? It's to bring shareholder value, to increase profit. It has nothing to do with your health. It has nothing to do with your well-being. It has nothing to do with your sanity. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's those things. Like, that's what they're about: increasing profit, bringing shareholder value, and they have to stay on that wheel. So they got to. So it's not about quality. It's not about the quality. It's a continual thing, right? So this whole profit thing. I mean, just look at what we do to the planet. We take a resource and we create something that's less than the actual start of it, right? We're digging up this earth and doing all these things with it to make junk, to make money and profit, which it's not even real, right? So we're taking something that can't be replaced and turn it into trash for monetary gain, which is it's nothing. And that's a continual, like, the whole system is continuous profit. Like, we're just going to continue to do this. There's no end in sight. Like, there's not, like, these corporations aren't made to make so much money and then they start giving back. Or no, it's a continual thing. We're just going to keep making money, and we're just going to keep finding ways to do it cheaply, and we're going to keep finding ways to exhaust whatever resources we can. And it's a never-ending cycle, right? That's the thing. And what happens, you're going to exhaust the resources on Earth. Hey, you got Elon Musk, we'll go to Mars. Do it on Mars. We're going to spread this thing out to other places, right? And one of the things that Elon said, I know we're kind of jumping. He said he wants to go to Mars to keep the flame of consciousness going or something like that. But what about here? What about the flame of consciousness here? What about keeping that going? What about elevating that? What about igniting that? And if we don't solve the problems here, we're just going to export it somewhere else. It's just going to export it somewhere else. So we're just kicking the can down the road. Just like a lot of the things with profit, they're just kicking the can down the road. They know what they're doing is not good for the planet. They know this. Like, it's not like they know this, but they're not worried about it because That's going to be someone else's problem. Their short-term gain. Give me my money now. Give me my money now. Let me fulfill myself now. I'm not worried about the long-term deal. Whereas when you look at the ancestors, the indigenous people, they thought long-term. They understood their connection to nature. They understood their being one with nature, right? And we've lost that. That's part of this division as well, is to make us think that humans are separate from nature. So nature is something to be conquered. We're conquering nature, and it's us. We're made in nature, right? So that's one of the things that we have to realize as well. They are not, hey, you said some original 12. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. These are the things that I like to get into, but I try to circumvent certain things. I try to talk about things that I can prove and that you can experience. But when you really look at the bigger picture, there's a lot of things that are reality is stranger than fiction for sure. Got theories on all this. Yeah, taxation and stuff. Yeah, that's the thing. The thing is, a lot of people are on this. You guys see it. You guys got theories. You guys see what's going on, and we just have to be smart about it. We just got to be smart about it, and we're doing that. We're doing that because again, we know the narrative that they try to use, right? So if we are talking about these things that may indeed be true, but we can't prove this. I can't show you this being or this person or this entity that could be behind the puppet master, right? I can't prove that, but I can prove that you are who you are, right? And you can have that experience. So I'm just going to focus on that. I'm just going to focus on the small little bit that we can deal with, and we can again master the basics, right? Build that foundation. And then that foundation, we can build it as high as we want. So we're going deep with that. Yeah, we are the real warriors, absolutely. And that's what I focus on, right? You don't see me talking about conspiracy theories and things of that nature, even though a lot of them have a lot of truth to them. I'm not saying that they don't, but those are just easy ways that they can just chop you off. You're a conspiracy theorist, and that's it, right? So that's why I avoid those rabbit holes, not because they're not true, not because they don't have validity, just because I know that that's just a tool that they'll use to try to derail someone from actually getting something across that's valuable. This place belongs to us, absolutely. Currency is actually, yep, they are manipulating our energy with the money. Absolutely, absolutely. We talked about that earlier. Currency, our energy, our time, like that is the real currency. It's a waste of energy to focus on the conspiracies. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying. They're there. Conspiracies exist, like for us, but again, it's just something that they use. It's the dividing way, because it's like I use 9/11 for example. That's a big conspiracy, right? Okay, that's an easy way for them to try to control the narrative, right? But if I say, well, building 7, how does a building fall within its own footprint? And firefighters don't pull buildings. I've talked to firefighters. They don't pull buildings, right? They don't demolish buildings. Small pockets of fire don't cause buildings to come within their own footprint, right? This isn't a conspiracy theory. You can look at the University of Alaska. They did a study. You can Google that, and you can see that they actually modeled what small pockets of fire would do if a building like that collapsed. This is science, right? There's architects and engineers for 9/11 truth. There's firefighters and policemen. But because it didn't fit that mainstream narrative, even though they had all of their ducks lined up, right? They spent over $300,000 for that University of Alaska study, because that was co-signed by a university doing real science, right? They want the proof. Well, that's the proof, right? But again, just because it's not mainstream, they can easily write that off, and you don't hear about that kind of stuff. But you can Google that, and you can look at the actual models that they did. And there's plenty of other people that you knew it didn't look right, you knew it didn't sound right. You didn't have to have a university behind you. But these are the things that need to be done when you're trying to break through those gatekeepers, right? Because that's just the way this is set up. That's just one of the ways that they do it. the most important things. Absolutely. Yeah. Nah, we're gonna pass on it's your boy Aaron YT. Cause I don't know. It's hit or miss when people try to come in. The first time they came in, we were doing this whole battle thing. The next time they came in, we're looking at dogs. You know, I don't want this to be a distraction. I mean, we can have fun. I'm not against having fun, but you know, we're talking about some cool things. And if they want to add to the conversation, that's one thing. But just to come on and randomly show something else, I mean, it's not what we're about right now. Conspiracy where you see how they put out the guy. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. You hit it. I am waking. Our bud Jesus, my guy. Yeah. And these are things that are easily seen. And when you see that, then you can circumvent them, right? You see the script, you see the play, like, okay. And that's one of the things I want to see it. You know, it's like, why would you want to go into the lines then? Why would you, that was one of the questions. Why do you want to get into politics? Like, I don't want to get into politics, but two things that are running this place, religion and politics. Two things you can't talk about at work, the place where a lot of us spend the most of our time, religion and politics, right? So, and, you know, religion and politics, and then, you know, the news, right? The media, you know, all of these things are contributing to a perception of ourselves in reality. So I just want to just to see if you're able to come in there and break some of that up and shed a little light in there. And we'll see, it may not happen. I may be like Fight Club. I may be picking a fight that I lose, right? And that's fine. That would be purposeful if that's the case. But I'd like to see how they would tap dance when you know the script that they're going to run and it doesn't work. They're going to have to do something new. They're going to have to be creative. You're going to have to be as creative as I am. You're going to have to be as much of a light as I am to gaslight me. They're going to have to be as much of a light as you are to gaslight you, right? So that's going to be difficult. And if they are shining that light, then they're not going to want to gaslight you, because my light doesn't affect your shine. Your light doesn't affect my shine, right? There's enough shine for us all, right? So the people that try to gaslight you, that try to cover your light, that try to diminish you, that just shows how they feel about themselves, right? And a lot of people don't treat other people how they want to be treated. They treat other people how they treat themselves. You know, a lot of people have a lot of self-hate, haven't forgiven themselves, a lot of these things, and they treat you that way. And that's another thing. When you realize that and you're able to see that, then you recognize that. And you're not going to react to someone that's just lashing out at you and really showing you the reflection of what they are inside, right? And we see that a lot, you know, and it is what it is. But think about being able to call them out on that, you know, just to say you're projecting your own insecurities on me. You're projecting your own hatred on me. And I mean, I'm not accepting that. I mean, if we're going to talk facts, then what am I saying that's not true? You know, what am I saying that's false? What is your evidence to the contrary? What are you saying that's more valuable than this? You know, we can discuss these things and we don't have to get all emotional. You know, I understand you trying to push someone's button to get them emotional, to write them off as being crazy and all that stuff. That's not going to work. We got to do something else. What else you got? What else you got in the playbook? You know, show me something else. You know, they don't have nothing else, right? That's the thing. Yeah, we're talking about doing the work. Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is part of it. So how it happens, I don't know. That's the part that gets me. I have a lot of ideas, but the thing is, our idea is going to be greater than my idea. So part of it is putting it out there and allowing input and allowing the puzzle pieces to fit together. And this is part of being patient on mine as well, because I want to go, you know, but some things take time, right? You know, a baby takes 9 months. You may want to love that baby, you know, in 7 months, but you might want to wait for the extra time so that the things that need to be put together are put together, right? So that's an example of this scenario. So we're creating a new reality. We don't want to rush that, right? But this is part of us coming together. I don't vote ever when I come out there. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And I don't blame you on not participating either. I'm with you. And that's the thing. It's just, I just want to show that alternative. I just want to show the alternative. I just want to be the Morpheus that say, hey, there's this red pill. You don't have to take it. I'm going to show you what it can do for you. You know, let's just let's focus on the individual. Let's just focus on what it can do for you and how it can benefit you. And then when you get benefited as an individual, then the actions that you take as a benefited individual, as a higher consciousness individual, as a more awakened, more enlightened individual, the actions that you take are going to affect someone else. It's going to be a domino effect, right? That's how we change this reality. It's one person at a time. And to be able to show that and articulate that, and it's not anything to do with me or you or any of us, you know, it's just being an example to show that that's within them as well. And not everyone's going to want to do that. I get that. There's people that are going to try to, oh, what's going on, Shar? There's going to be people that are going to want to suppress it and all that stuff. And again, it's a journey that is going to be there when you're ready for it. But those of us that are ready for it, that have been taking the actions, that have been putting in the work, let's go. Let's do something. Let's make some mistakes. Let's not be afraid to fall on our faces, right? Hey, what's up, Shar? Yeah, let's not be afraid to, you know, fall on our faces, make some mistakes. The only thing is, let's just don't make the same mistake twice. Let's just learn from them. And that's going to be a way to grow, right? And I have no problem making mistakes. I just don't like making the same mistakes. And I want to make big mistakes, because when you make big mistakes, that allows bigger opportunities to come from that, right? So we're going big here. We're not being small-minded. We're not pretending like we don't know what we know. We're not who we are. We don't have our experience. We're not going to pretend like we're less than just because we're not being co-signed by somebody that's rich or famous or whatever, right? They're breathing the same air that we are. They wipe their butt the same way we wipe our butts, right? Queen, king, whatever. We're the queens and kings, right? That's another thing. Like who made them king? King of who? Queen of what? Like who made you that, right? You know, last I checked, we're all the children of God. So who made you better, right? You know, that's a belief system. Yeah, we can grow exponentially, learn from our mistakes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing is, we just got to take the action. We got to make those mistakes. And I'm going to make plenty of mistakes. This whole exercise could, you know, I don't think it's going to be a mistake. I think it's going to be something that comes out of it. But as far as how it looks, because there's no script, yeah, we're going to be bumping our heads all over the place. But we're going to learn from that. And that's how we grow. We learn to walk by learning how not to fall. We failed plenty of times learning how to walk. And look at where we are now. So yeah, and we're able to do it. And Shar, when we come to South Florida, I'm gonna holler at you. There's spots that I planted seeds at that we're gonna reap the rewards. We're gonna just show, and it's not anything that anyone's co-signing me or co-signing you. We're just showing the conversation. We're just showing that these are valuable things to discuss. These are valuable concepts to talk about. Like these are the people generating these ideas on creating the reality they want to experience, right? We're not waiting on someone to tell us how we should live, how we should govern ourselves, or how we should act, or how we should think about this or that and the other. A lot of that programming is exactly that, by people that don't have any clue of what it's like to be a normal person or reality, or don't have any contact with their own spirituality, right? And these are the people that are in charge, right? And we just vote one out and vote another one in. And the system just keeps on running, because that's how it runs. It doesn't matter who's in office. We talked about corporations. A corporation doesn't matter who, they don't care who's in office. If you really think about it, I try to explain yes, I have so many questions. Oh, I'm listening, Shah. I try to explain so many people how they create their work. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's it. You got it, Shar. I mean, we can change the channel, right? We're the pixels that make up the screen, right? So as soon as we decide to change the screen can't do nothing but change. You know, it's made of us. It's that simple. And some people don't want that responsibility. They don't want to take that own action. But the thing is, if you're not taking the action, or if you're not taking responsibility, then you're going to be subject to the actions that someone else takes. And those actions that they take may not have your best interests at heart, right? And you can look at it that way, okay? If you don't want to take control, you don't want to take responsibility and accountability, then someone else is going to do it for you, right? If you don't want to take the wheel, someone else is going to take it. But if someone else is driving, you may not like where they're taking this thing. And just look at this reality, right? We haven't been in the driver's seat and look at where it's going, right? So we have the ability to take control of it. And our frequency allows us to see it. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And it opens up so many, and that's the thing, we were talking about this before, is to be able to show the individual, like break it down to the individual, that it allows them to see other opportunities and possibilities for their life, right? They can see solutions to problems that they may have. They can see a new reality for themselves, right? They begin to take action because they know exactly what they want. They know exactly what's going to fulfill them, right? And the problem is when you wait for someone else to do exactly what you want to do, they're going to get it wrong most of the time. So to take that control and to take that, to take the wheel, to be able to create that yourself, then you're going to get exactly what you want, or you're going to get something better than what you were given, right? The old system is crumbling. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, just like your song, the system is crumbling. And we have an opportunity while it's crumbling to take advantage of it. And I want to mention something on that because the system is crumbling, right? But let's keep the infrastructure. Let's not do this in a violent way. Let's not tear up things or burn bridges that we're going to need to cross in the future, right? We can dismantle the system, but that doesn't mean we have to physically dismantle things and ride and all of these things. Like to me, that never made sense. Like why you would tear your own neighborhood up or your own community up, because you're going to have to, you live there. You're going to have to go right back and rebuild that same stuff that you were tearing down for what? I understand you want to fight and everything, but we have to be smart about it. And that's the thing. We have to be smart about it. The financial system is currently crumbling, short-term asset. Yep, it is. And they have a lot of control over the financial system. And there's certain things that they can pull. I mean, again, we talk about the think tanks and the things they do, like how they simulate things and have these exercises. So they run a lot of scripts. A lot of smart people run a lot of scripts, a lot of simulations on this, that, and the other. You can look at the Rockefeller Foundation. They actually had a couple simulations that are similar to the situation that we're in now. And they do these things, right? And this is, out in the open. But again, it's their script, and we can do things differently. And their system, their means of control, it only is as powerful as we allow it to be. Again, we're the ones that are doing the things. If money went away tomorrow, the farmer can still farm, the barber can still cut, the mom can still be a good mom. We still have our skills and our intellect and our ability, right? The thing is, they make us feel we have to have this middleman in between, right? And we don't have to have that, because the middleman is just lacing his own pockets off of our talent, ability, and labor and skills, right? So that's something that we can do, y'all. And goodness, man, we've been going for almost 2 hours. All right. Yeah, there's still value in the people. Absolutely. The value is the people. That we are the resource. We are the thing that's true. We are the gold. We are the light. We are the most valuable thing on this planet. I mean, that's us, right? We're the value. And as soon as we realize that, I mean, it changes. It shifts. It's a shift in perspective. And part of the programming is devaluing us. We talked about that before. Only way 1% can control 99% is if 99% don't know their own value. So the whole program is to devalue us, to make us think we're less than pennies. We're a fraction of what we are. And that's the whole system, right? That way this one shiny penny can rule over the other 99. But when you realize that, hey, we're all pennies, right? It doesn't work, and that's the truth. We all are pennies. We all have our own value. That's what we are, right? And that's why spirituality is important, because it gives you your power back. It shows you your value, and no one else can take that from you. No one can degrade that value. That's who you are at your core. The whole spiritual journey is realizing that. It's like removing what you've been programmed that you are to reveal what's there. It's been there the whole time. Didn't go anywhere. It was there the whole time. Like Dorothy, you had the power the whole time. They put it in our face all the times, but yeah, you had the power the whole time. The shoes don't make you strong, or the lion already had the courage and all of these things. It's all within us already. Yeah, so many things to learn. Yeah, I mean, you think about it. I mean, they know what they're doing. That's the thing. They get us at a young age. They put us through the system. We're taught to regurgitate information. If they tell us something, we give that back to them, and we get a good grade, and we progress. And from that point, we're able to get a piece of paper that said we've regurgitated everything that they told us. And now that piece of paper opens doors and to this reality and get you a better job or whatever. But we're all still cogs in the wheel. And we've all been indoctrinated on different levels. The most important things that I've learned were not in school. These are things that I had to find out myself. I had to do my own research. I had to question a lot of things. And it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. These are the things we're talking about are common sense things, spiritual common sense. This should be something that everyone knows, right? And I think it's part of the system to take that away from us, because a whole flock of sheep are a lot easier to control than a pack of lions, right? So they don't want you to be a lion. They want you to be a sheep so that they can control you with the shepherd, a good shepherd, supposedly, right? But no, you're not a sheep. You're a lion. You're a lioness, right? You're an infinite being. You're a creator. You're not a follower. You are a creator, a co-creator. So that's the thing. Yeah, definitely brainwashed. And part of the brainwashing is to normalize that, to normalize the behavior, to normalize, well, this is how we've always done it. I'm sure you've heard that. Well, this is the way it's always been. It doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's right. These systems, just because they've been going on for a long time, doesn't mean that they should be, or that they are right, or that they're beneficial, right? The certificate receipt is not the same. Absolutely, absolutely. And the thing is, it's self-mastery. Like master yourself. Know who you are. A lot of people don't even ask that question, right? And don't think that's a worthy question to ask, or even something worthwhile. They want to talk about some other person, some other savior. They don't even question the whole idea of you needing a savior, right? You didn't come in with that idea, right? Somebody told you that you need someone to save you. Save me, okay? From what? What do they save me from? Well, they're saving you from a God of everlasting love who's going to put you in a fire for eternity. Wait, whoa. Where? And that's just the way it is. You don't question this, you don't question that. Well, no, we should question. We should question. It doesn't make sense. You can't show me any parent, I'm sure you guys are parents as well. How much time have you spent organizing a place of everlasting torment for your child to put them forever for anything that they do bad in one lifetime, right? How much effort and time have you put into that, for your loving child, right? Not many of you, right? None of you, right? Because you love your child, right? So it doesn't make sense, but we accept those things, and that's part of the programming. They know what they're doing, right? Yeah. The same thing that made me an knowledge. Yeah. But hey, we can see through that. And the whole thing is to show this example on a larger scale, because I feel it's worthy of that. This needs to be in the light as much as we can get it in the light. And that's part of what I think my journey is to try to amplify that. So I appreciate you riding with me and shining your light as well, because that's what it's going to take. It's going to take all of us. It's not just one person. Just like this screen that you're watching, right? Whatever screen you're watching on, it's made of individual pixels, right? Just think about it. Whatever resolution you got on your screen, if one pixel went off, the whole screen doesn't change, right? It really doesn't make a difference. If 1% of the pixels, you still be able to see the main thing that you're looking at now. So because the screen is made up of 99% of the other pixels. So that's us. And we can change the screen, this reality, this experience. And we don't have to get anyone to co-sign us. We don't need anybody's approval. We don't need anybody's validation. We're the screen. We can change this reality as soon as we can do it tomorrow if we wanted to. I mean, we can really do it that quickly, but the programming is strong. The programming is strong. And as someone that's been through it, I can attest to that, right? Yeah, so I can speak from being programmed, being asleep, to an experience of being awake, and also seeing more, like even awakening in this matrix. And I know it's just a figure of speech, but there's still more to it. There's still more room to grow. There's still expansion. It's not like that's it. Oh, I've arrived. No, there's more to the journey, right? So that's the thing as well. We're continually evolving. We're a means for the universe to evolve and explore itself, and it's not done. It's still expanding, right? So we're part of that expansion. And from a scientific standpoint, everything that we're talking about is being validated in some sense by science. They're slow catching up, but yeah, it's there. You know, it is what it is. All righty, y'all. Yeah, every day is a journey. Absolutely, especially nowadays. It's crazy. Like it surprised me how quickly things went from where they were to where they are now, and that just shows how much control that they really have. Yeah, it was surprising that it happened as quickly. But in that sense, I feel we can turn it around as quickly as well. We just have to get our voice there. We just got to get the amplification there. And again, I talk about this whole campaign thing. That's just one piece of the puzzle. And that may not work, but the whole idea is to get this in the forefront. You know, I don't mind having a target on me, you know, shoot holes in my theory, my story, whatever. But the thing is, you're going to have to really have your homework done. You're going to have to, it's just not going to be, you're crazy. You're going to have to show me how, when, where, why, because these are all things that I've tried to shoot holes in as well. Because I'm not going to present you some information or something that I haven't spent a lot of time and research and effort and have my own experience as well. So I'm not going to give you a rope and say, you know, you can use this to pull yourself up if I haven't tested it out to the best of my ability, right? That's just not how I operate, because I know that you're another aspect of myself. I wouldn't want to do that to myself, right? Treat others as you want to be treated. And I love myself and I love you as well. And I wouldn't want to lie to you. I wouldn't want to do anything that would degrade you or limit you or anything like that, because I wouldn't want you to do that to me. So that's just how I look at things. And I'm someone that wants to maximize my potential. I want to see what my limits are and push the limits, you know, as far as I can. Not everyone wants to do that, but regardless of whether you do or not, I'm not the one that's going to limit where you can go and what you can do. All right. All right, y'all. So yeah, some normal life got flipped 180. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And now, and it's funny, now everyone wants to get back to normal, right? But normal's not coming back. So normal's not coming back, which is a good thing, But there's some people that want that normal back. Their whole ignorance is bliss thing, like they want to go back to that. And part of that is just wanting that comfort. Even if it wasn't beneficial, they knew that reality. Whereas this is something that they don't know. And if you can get comfortable in being uncomfortable, then you become a dangerous person, because one of the things that's constant is change. So if you're afraid of change, then you're afraid of the next second, the next day, the next hour, because if there's one thing that's going to happen, it's change, right? You're not looking at a static screen. It's changing all the time. When you look in the mirror, you're changing all the time. We talked about your cells. Your cells are dividing all the time, right? You're not a stagnant thing. You're an energetic being that is just, you're free flowing. It just looks like we're solid, but our energy is changing in ways that we can't even understand it and see on a level. So we are the change. So to align with that is to not fight against the current, but to ride the current. And that's something that I had to learn myself. So we have made a mass quantum shift in our reality. Absolutely. The reality, yeah, it's going. It is going. And it's not coming back. And now is the opportune time for us to interject. And that's why I think this is a timing thing. And I mentioned it before. We got one shot at this, really, right? Because you only get one chance to make a first impression, right? You can always go back and try to, rekindle that thing, but you only get one chance to make a first impression, right? This thing is so new. This is the opportunity to come in with the creation of the new thing, right? To be involved in that. And it's not going to happen again. So we have to take advantage of this flux that we're in, right? This quantum shift that Island Vibes was talking about, right? So I appreciate you for your time, man. So yeah, so we have to take advantage of this, right? Take advantage of this shift that we're in, and interject ourselves into this reality. Because here's the thing, old reality is gone. It's not coming back. The thing is, it's almost like a race. We had the little contest before, right? Who can create the new reality quicker, right? And they have a little head start, right? But the tortoise and the hare, right? You can use that story. As long as we're steady and we keep our momentum, then and we don't stop, then we'll be good. It doesn't have to be quick, if you will, but it has to be steady. It has to be constant. We have to steadily adapt and adjust, and we're in the process of doing that. But this new reality is being created now, and you can see some of the moves that they're making. Like, I mean, it's like a movie. You look at the metaverse, things of that nature. They're trying to pull us more into the virtual world, right? Right now, we're interacting in the virtual world, right? But we don't have any haptic feedback. We're still looking. We don't have things over our eyes, right? So we're still, we still have the outside world here. But you can see they're trying to pull more of us into that virtual space, right? They're trying to create like a Ready Player One kind of deal, to where you spend all your time in the metaverse. In the metaverse, you can be whatever you want to be, look however you want to look, be whatever gender you want to be, all of these things. But it's not real, it's not real. And they're going to be able to control that narrative and interaction, whereas they can't control this real world. And we're in the shift, we're in the middle of it, right? This is where we are now. So we have to interject ourselves into this reality now and be involved in the creation of the new one. And we see what happened when we are not involved in the creation, right? That's the old reality, right? We see where this has got us. So let's learn from that mistake. Let's not repeat that same mistake and just allow those powers to be we screwed it up and we're gonna get it right. No, let's be involved in this, right? And I think that's what we're in the process of doing. They cannot succeed without us. We are the key. Absolutely. Yeah. But and that's the thing. So you hit on something. They can't succeed without us. But they're part of what I see is they know this. They're aware of this more than we see, right? So part of the thing is to continue the division and things of that nature, but again, to pull our attention away from the connection that we can have with each other, right? And try to limit that interaction in different ways. And as long as we can see that, we can deal with that. I guess basically currently astrology and tarot outside of Facebook, Instagram are being censored. Yeah, we should. And I'm with you on that. I think we should. There's so many things we can do. There's so many things that we can do because again, we're the ones that power the system, right? Like just one example, I'm just throwing this out there, insurance, right? We need insurance, right? So why don't we have our own insurance company, right? That involves us and we're able to generate profit from the same thing that they're doing, right? But an insurance company for the people, by the people, right? That gives some of the profits to whatever we want to do, right? Because it's our money anyway. We're paying money whether we have an accident or not, right? And then what happens is all the people that pay this money, they pay for the person that has the accident, right? They pay for his car or her car, but they keep all the other excess money, right? I mean, that's the whole insurance game, right? So that's what we're playing. So just one example, we can play that game with our own money, right? If we have to have insurance, why can't that be one thing, right? I mean, there's plenty of examples. That's just one, but there's so many things that we can do, that we can create. And part of it is discussing it, talking about these ideas. Like I feel this is part of a think tank, if you will, to where we're discussing these things, but this is one way to do it. I'd like more interaction as well. You know, I like to hear and see your input. I know you guys are typing and things like that, which is good. It's better than nothing, but to take it on another level, I like to see us do that. And as we form these ideas, in your idea and my idea is going to be better than my idea. You know, we get Shars, we get Egos, we get Bud Jesus, we get Janice. All of those ideas morph together, they're going to be better than any one of our individual ones, right? And we're able to formulate it in our heads, we're able to shoot holes in it so that when we do manifest it, it's solid, right? We've looked at it in every which way. So that's part of what a think tank does. Let's see, what did you say, Shar? What are your thoughts on the metaverse? They're going to have more plugs. And yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the way I see it. I mean, it's a tool like anything else. It can be used one way or the other, but the way that it's going to be used is just taking what they've been doing with social media on a different level, and more control, more access, right? More data, and it's going to be more immersive. So the intent of any of these apps is screen time, right? They want screen time. They want you to spend as much time looking at the screen and interacting with it as possible, because then they get more data, they get more information, and then they can sell the advertisements. So they get screen time for us, and we're just interacting, you know, two-dimensionally with this, right? So now they want more screen time in the three-dimensional world. And then they even got the haptic suits where you can feel things. So they're trying to create a matrix, right? I mean, we're seeing a literal matrix being created. And you can see where they'll take it. They'll take it into more immersive things to where you won't be able to distinguish the real world from the fake world. And then now you got people that spend the majority of the time in the fake world because they can have their mansion. They can be whoever they want to be and look however they want to look. And they won't see the you know, it'll just be like Cyrus. You know, they know the steak isn't real, but it tastes good. You know, and you can see that. And the companies that are creating this, I don't think they care about long-term, the effects and things of that nature. It's about profit for them. So they want you to spend as much time because they can sell more advertising, make more money. They don't care about your mental health or what it does for humanity or anything like that. They'll definitely sell you that, you know, oh, we connect you better and this, that, and the other. And, you know, they'll sell you a wolf ticket. You know, they understand marketing and propaganda. We talked about that. They're very good at it. They have geniuses working on these campaigns. They know the hot buttons to push. They know how to play with our emotions. But just look at what they've done with the platforms that they have now. So why would we trust them to do more with more access? Because we're really giving them more access. And they'll create the technology to make it as real as possible. You know, yeah, I can see them taking it there. They will take it there. This allows everyone to be included. Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's just, this is an idea, Janice. I mean, yeah, I mean, you think about something like that we all use, right? That was just one example. There's plenty of things that we can do. Like once we start to, one of the things we got to do is we got to get money. And I know, you know, that can be divisive in the spiritual community one way or another, right? But money is not the root of all evil, okay? Money is a tool, like we said before, just like this pen is a tool. For instance, if I was a billionaire, this whole insurance company, I can start that tomorrow, right? I can advertise. I mean, that would be something that money can solve very easily, right? But I don't have the resources to do that. And the people that do have the resources to do that, they are not interested in creating things that are of that nature, right? So that's just one example of how money can help things. So part of the thing is that Yeah, money does make things happen. So, and I think that's part of the programming that we've been given as well. Like there's a virtue in being poor and being meek and not being able to provide and things of that nature. And money is the root of all evil and things of that nature. Things that we've been taught and programmed by the same people and the same preacher that has the big house and that has the cars and the jets, and they're telling us that nah, I mean, it's a game. It's definitely a game. So these are all things that we can discuss, and these are the things that I want to put out there in the forefront, right? And we'll continue to have these conversations. So I appreciate y'all joining. I'm not going to keep y'all longer. We already been a couple hours, but these are going to be online if you want to kind of see what we had before. Spiritual people, absolutely, Shar. Absolutely. And that's you hit on something there, because that's one of the things that we've been sold for so long. We'll get our reward later. We'll get our reward in heaven. This is the devil's playground. So they can have all of this, but we'll get our reward later. Meanwhile, they're getting their rewards now, right? So why can't we get our rewards now? And yeah, it's not strictly physical. It's not all physical, right? But these are the things that we're experiencing physicality, right? We're experiencing this world. And who's to say that doesn't make this experience, it opens up possibilities, right? Money opens up possibilities. So why not allow us to have those possibilities, right? Video skipping, yeah. All righty, y'all. I think I'm gonna call this one right now. I appreciate y'all joining in. We'll do it again next week. This will be online. And let's continue to have the conversation. Let's keep it going. And you'll see more about the whole stops. And if you're in a spot and you want to host one of these events or town halls, things of that nature, then let's communicate. Let's set something up. I want to interact with people that are interested in having these kind of conversations. And thank you for sharing the space, Lex. And let's set it up. I've already, again, put some feelers out, but I want it to be interactive. So if you're interested in having these conversations in person, and we can do lives there and have more people. You've seen some of the stuff I did in Nashville, kind of playing with it. I've tested this thing out as well. I'm not just someone that talks about it. I've tested it out myself and spent my own time and money and things to kind of do that as well. So we'll continue the conversation. All right, Janice. All right, y'all. Appreciate it, Shaw. Appreciate it. Y'all take it easy now. Love y'all. Peace.
The mailbox belonging to 75